everyone. Welcome to Good Follow, presented by DraftKings. I'm Ros Logan. That's my girl, Logan Hackett. Logan, what's up?
How are you?
I'm good. I feel like time is flying. I can't believe this is already our last show of January.
Right? And it's crazy to think that December we were in New York together. I don't know why January has felt like months.
Well, I know, seriously. And it's crazy because like that December, like at the end of the year, heading into the new year, that was just our first time meeting each other in person. And now we're at our third show since the relaunch. I mean, this has been really cool to kind of be building out with you. And I also want to make sure to shout out everybody at home who's been watching and subscribing and spreading the word. This is really cool to be building with you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been so cool to like go through this and see it grow just in 3 shows. And again, I'm so excited for what we're about to build and what we're going to continue to build.
Listen, my girl. Listen, sis. We got a big third show. This third show is a big one. We got a Hall of Famer joining us. We got a bucket getter joining us later on in the show. Tara VanDerveer, Hall of Famer, joins us. And then I've also got a sit-down interview with Kayla McBride coming to you all the way from Miami from Unrivaled Basketball. So it's a big show. And therefore, you know I come bearing gifts.
Oh, another one.
And this show, I'm bringing dominoes. I have dominoes, Logan. Why?
I would love that.
Why? Because the first domino has fallen in WNBA free agency. All right. Dominoes are falling. It's getting spicy in WNBA free agency. Take us through it, Logan.
We had a huge blockbuster trade on the weekend. I was literally eating my dinner, and when I saw it, I stopped right where I was and my jaw fell to the floor. Jewell Loyd is heading to Las Vegas. Kelsey Plum is going to the Sparks. And there's a third team, which is the Storm, who are getting the #2 pick in this year's draft, and Lee Yoeru from the Sparks. I have so many questions. I want to hear your take, but how do you like Kelsey's fit with the Sparks?
I like the move. I like the play by the Sparks. I'm optimistic about it. You have to think about where the Sparks are right now. They're in a 4-year playoff drought. I mean, that's not acceptable. Not for the legacied Sparks franchise, one of the original 8 franchises in the WNBA. That's not what they're trying to be about or what they've been about historically. So what the Sparks do have is young talent and a lot of size. They needed some extra guard play. Enter Kelsey Plum. Not only do you need talented guard play, you also, when you're trying to get back to the playoffs, you need a culture reset. And I think that Kelsey Plum does that as somebody who is a winner at every level. From college basketball, this is somebody who rewrote the record books, men's or women's scoring for college basketball. We just saw she got her jersey retired by Washington, UW. This is somebody who is a gold medalist Olympian. She is a worker. She played for the Aces and humbly and honorably played her role to help them to great success and winning championships. She understands grinding and work ethic and building that skill out. She's been a bucket. She's worked very hard to add playmaking to her abilities that she can bring to the table. And she's also a veteran leader, which I think her in combination with Dearica Hamby, who she has a great friendship with as well from their days in Vegas together, those two are great veteran leaders who can help culture set in the locker room and help Rickea Jackson and hopefully a healthy Cameron Brink take that next step forward. And, you know, Kelsey's home. This past season has been a very tough year for her personally, publicly as well. She's had time to regroup. So it's a new chapter and era for her. Sparks have a new coach. It's a new chapter and era for them. I'm very optimistic about all of this coming together.
Yes, seeing that post with Dearica when she posted her and KP and like the Aces jerseys, that's so cute. They're reunited, but there's a lot of talk about kind of what the Sparks are doing and what they gave away. So what's the downside for them in this situation?
Well, the downside is they had to give up the #2 draft pick, right? And I think any GM's like top fear is that they make a move that bold and then you look back on the 2025 draft 5 to 10 years from now and you're like, oh, brother, the Sparks traded away generational talent for lackluster results. Good evening, everyone. I interrupt our normally scheduled programming because what? WNBA? What? Where were you when the WNBA as we know it literally was just turned upside down by free agency? I personally have been settling into my evening routine. Like I'm literally here in pajamas right now because I just have to react. Like I think we're all collectively like, what? We are literally changing up our show. And for those of you who have been following our show, you know I've been workshopping these dang bells. If there was an evening to have some bells, it's tonight! And I'm getting the bells out. Because the WNBA is literally on fire. It's crazy. Okay, so here's the tea. Brittney Griner announces on her social media in major style on a boat with her new teammates that she is going to the Atlanta Dream. And it's her, it's Alicia Gray, it's Ryan Howard, it's Jordan Canada. And guess what? I really like this combination for the Atlanta Dream. They get a big and a star, big player that they needed. And I think that those players, Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, they're all trending up and they're gaining more confidence in Unrivaled. And Ryan Howard actually told me that she feels this is a breakout season for her. And I believe her. And then I really like this for Brittney Griner. Just, it's a new chapter. It's a new era. And not just for her career, like personally, you know, and she has the agency to decide where she's going to go and what she wants to do with her life. When just a couple years ago, that couldn't even be imagined, you know? So she'll be coming in off of Unrivaled, super in shape, motivated. The other news that dropped today, Alyssa Thomas is heading to the Phoenix Mercury. But I really don't know what to expect or think of the Mercury yet because there's so many question marks we still have. Will Diana Taurasi retire? We know that BG is out. Are Dawana Bonner and Alyssa Thomas a package deal? You know, they're married, they have a family. And don't forget that DB, Dawana Bonner, has won chips in Phoenix. So she's a legend there. And the last little bit of tea that I've been hearing from reports is that Satou Sabally is visiting with teams, in particular the Phoenix Mercury and the New York Liberty, the reigning WNBA champions. And so the Mercury, I mean, everybody's always raving about their facilities. Well, the Liberty got, you know, the goods too, and they also have Satou's younger sister in Nyara Sabally. And besides the national team, you know, they never really got to realize their dream of like playing together at Oregon in college because of injuries. So maybe coming together at the Liberty could be a chance to run that back. But here's the other side of that. If the Liberty are going to make some splashy moves in free agency, who goes? Who are they going to let go of? Because every single player on that roster means something to me. Like, I'm personally committed to every single player on that roster. And I don't know how I would get over it. Maybe I should just drink some tea and get ready for bed. I think that's the case. I'm going to let us get back to the show. Back to you, Logan, and I guess me? Past me? Future me? You know, the Laces are one of the veteran teams of Unrivaled, but it's their young player who's also been holding it down in Kate Martin. I've been really impressed with her confidence. You take a look at some of her plays coming out of Unrivaled. She looks like a player who understands what she brings to the table. She's blue collar effort on defense, willing to do the gritty work on offense, very smart. You know, she's going to take what the defense gives her, go to the cup. She's been really good at the rim and exploding there. She has a bit of poise to her game beyond her years. The game seems slow for her. Look at the give and go movement without the ball, understanding of like how to make things happen in a half court set. I think that's good coaching from Iowa. I think she's also surrounded by great veteran players here on Unrivaled. Right there, makes the defense pay for sagging off of her. Again, makes them pay. She does a great job of hunting spots. She's willing to work to get to her 3-point spot. And she's been crushing it at all ranges, even getting to the cup and the rim. She's not super fast or speedy, but she's quick. You know, she goes hard to the rim and she's going to finish there. So to me, I'm looking at her. She looks like a steal of the 2024 draft as a second round draft pick, number 18. I think she's going to be a nice addition to the Valkyries.
Of course, she has put in the work. You are seeing it and it is paying off. Like, I honestly can't believe how good she's looking. And this format too is made for her. Like, this is the format for Kate Martin. And again, I'm really excited to see how she does in the W.
Yeah, Kate Martin is crushing it. So are the Laces. They look very good. I'm a little concerned about the Laces because they are looking banged up. The injuries are starting to mount, and they've got a big matchup coming up on Friday against the Lunar Owls. It'll be a battle of the unbeatens. All eyes will be on that game in Unrivaled play. Coming up, joining our show is a basketball savant, one of the most respected basketball minds in the history of the game. Joins Goodfollow. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Good Follow presented by DraftKings. And guys, I'm geeked. I'm so excited. We have a huge guest joining the show, our biggest yet, Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer, three-time NCAA champion, Olympic gold medalist. She retired as the winningest head coach, men's or women's D1 basketball. When she left the game, she is one of the most respected minds and figures in all of basketball. And my former coach at Stanford University, Tara VanDerveer, joins the show.
Yay!
Hi, Ros.
Hi, Tara.
Ros, you were never this excited about coming to practice.
Oh, you got jokes early. Okay, Tara. I miss you. I miss
you
you.
too.
But Logan, I'd love to introduce you to a wonderful life mentor, friend, and my coach, Tara VanDerveer, as you take it away for us.
It is so incredibly nice to meet you. We're so excited to have you on the show. And in honor of you being with us, we want to compare some throwback moments with today's highlights in a segment we're calling Then and Now.
Ooh, fun. Wait a second. What? Tara, this graphic is insane. So to start this thing off, we're going to look at where you were then and where you are now. Back then, you were a coach at Stanford. And now, Tara, you're a professor teaching a course at Stanford. And literally the course is called Basketball, a Masterclass. And it's got a star-studded guest list. You got Steve Kerr coming in, Jennifer Azzi, Lisa Bluter of Iowa, Nneka and Chiney Agwuemeke. So I'm happy for this new chapter for you. How does coaching and teaching compare, Tara?
Well, Ros, I think coaching is teaching. So it's just, the fun thing, actually, I really enjoy doing the class, and we don't have public exams like you do with coaching. I feel like, we always would play the games, and it was really important that everyone, when you were on the team, everyone had to study really hard and do the right thing. Whereas in this class, we have no homework, no grades. And I told the class that it was pass fail. If they had fun, they passed. If they didn't have fun, I failed. So we're really having a good time. And I'll book you for next year if I teach it again.
I saw the list of guests and I completely understood where I ranked in the hierarchy of greatness coming through Stanford. I was like, oh, no. Tara brought in the big wigs. I got it. But anytime you need me, I'm ready.
All right. Well, Raj, I did have a picture of you in class because you're on my all defensive team. So we had your picture. You were in a stance. It was looking really good.
But you've seen the growth in investment in women's basketball and women's sports just as a whole. So back then, you were the coach of the '96 Olympic team that fueled the excitement for the launch of the WNBA in 1997. And now we're in an era of unprecedented attention to women's sports, investment, expansion, the NIL era, and the new Unrivaled League debuted. So how does today's momentum around women's basketball compare to that of the late 90s?
It's a wonderful time. And I think that what's really important is for all of us that love the game of basketball and love the game of women's basketball, for us to help grow and guard the game as best as we can, so that in fact, we're always putting our best product forward, the great players that we have. I would just say not to get distracted with things, because we still we're not where we can be. And one of the things I think that as a coach on the West Coast, and Roz might remember this, is that, we kind of stuck together in our league in the Pac-10, Pac-12 to help promote women's basketball on the West Coast, because so many people ignored us, and we have to stick together. And I think as women's basketball coaches, players, everyone in the game, we need to be unselfish and really work to promote women's basketball at all levels, ahead of our own agendas.
And also, word is getting out about the coaches. Let's take a shift and look at the then and now of coaches. And let's start with the fashion and the fits, Tara. I see you smiling. So back then we have this iconic game day fit for you, Tara. It was that gray suit and those lucky gold huggy earrings.
Yeah,
And
I'm still wearing them.
but now you look at the fashion of the coaches today and you see Dawn Staley, always so cool. You know, she got some Louis Vuitton, some Gucci on, something really cool and popping. You know, our girl Kim Mulkey, she's consistent. She's been bold for decades. And I don't know if you recently saw Tara, she was literally wearing a hoop, like
I saw that. I saw that.
a literal bucket. And then you have Niele Ivey of Notre Dame, and she's always so fabulous coming out on the court.
Mhm.
And if you'll notice in that right corner, that's you in the iconic 1 of 1 Nike jacket. This was last year. They gifted it to you.
Yes.
Those are 1,203 tallies marked for each one of your career when you became the winningest head coach last season, passing Coach K. So as we dive into the fashion segment, I'd love to know, where is the coat, Tara? Do you wear it?
You know, Roz, I don't wear it too often, but I wear it sometimes when I go to speaking events, and I did wear it to my first class because it was freezing out and the coat is very warm. But it's really, it's probably something that actually when I do wear it, people want to take pictures in it. And one time I did not wear it to one of the games that was in San Francisco, and there was a woman that had a fake jacket like that, and she wanted me to sign it. So I know it's made its rounds. People have seen it.
Oh my God, not replicas.
Yes, replicas. Yes.
Very cool and high impact on the first day of class to come in and just stunt on them like 1,203, baby. So of the other coaches that we mentioned, Dawn Staley, Kim Mulkey, Niele Ivey, whose closet would you like to have a chance to shop in and wear something out of?
You know, I like Dawn's. I like Dawn's look. It's sporty and casual, but she's probably about 3 sizes smaller than me. But I think that what fashion is, just like your coaching, is it has to fit you. So the thing that's most important about a coach, I think, is that you're yourself. And so whatever, what fits Dawn, what, fits me. And, you have to be yourself in fashion or coaching.
Absolutely. I'm sure we'd love to pick up her new contract extension as well for $25 million.
I text Dawn, and I'm really excited for Dawn that what it shows to me is that South Carolina respects the job she's doing. They are investing in women's basketball, and it's very exciting. Now, some people might be upset. Oh, wow, that's a lot of money, but she's not even in the top 10 for all the men. So, I mean,
Right.
there's still some growth for her to do. And obviously other coaches. Women's basketball has just great coaches, and it's such an exciting time to be part of women's basketball. And I say to Dawn, you go, girl, and that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, respectfully, Tara, you see that contract coming down the line. Do you think to yourself, boy, I could have stuck this thing out for 5 more years?
Uh, I feel like I've had a magical life, Dawn, with coaching, and I'm proud of Dawn. I'm excited for Dawn. I coach Dawn. I love Dawn. She's a fabulous person, and woman, and I think a great ambassador of our game. And I hope she continues to enjoy coaching. And she's tough on those players.
Yeah.
She's tough. But I respect her.
Yes. And you have had a magical life, Tara. And this new age of coaching is going to be interesting and different than the one that you came up in. This is an era of NIL. So players are getting paid. In your opinion, now that you've stepped away from the game as a coach, what does it take to be a successful college coach in the era of NIL, and quite frankly, in the era of paying players?
Right. I think, Roz, that NIL is a great thing. And I think college players, when you played, you should have had the opportunity to profit from your name, image, and likeness, and market your own and own your own name, image, and likeness. The whole situation with collectives, which is different in my mind than NIL, I know they call it NIL, is basically pay for play. And I don't think it really is to the benefit of college athletics the way it's happened, because college athletics versus the pro, we don't have a salary cap. We don't have tampering rules. So, a great player can just get poached off of a team, and It's kind of I don't think it's really good right now for any of the game. No, I don't mean just women's basketball, but men's basketball, college football, everything. But NIL, I am a 100% supportive of. Now we're going past NIL. Now we're going to go to revenue sharing, which I also am supportive of. So we'll have to see where that goes.
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting time for coaches trying to build program prolonged success, and that's troubling for them. And then, especially with the mobility of players now, being able to move, but they also can hold coaches accountable to promises they made that way, right, Tara?
Yes. But I also, I think the thing was, with the portal, the combination of the portal, collective money, NIL, there are some situations, there were some times, I'll bet, when you were a freshman or you were a young player at Stanford where things weren't going your way. And you had to dig in a little bit deeper. And, now if you can say, well, I'm just going to transfer, and the grass is greener somewhere else. I think that teams are losing out because of the combination of all those things. I think I transferred, I don't think people should be tied to one place, but the combination of it is making it very easy to leave. And then the numbers haven't shown that people have actually done better when they do go to a new place. It's a situation that is, I think, very challenging for coaches when players say they want the most important things for them is connectivity, a relationship, and then they're going to their third school. They're not demonstrating that.
I'll end on this though. I do think NIL is especially exciting for
Mhm.
female collegiate athletes. When I was coming up, Tara, even if you were a star player as a female athlete, the concept of like, I could be a millionaire for doing this was pretty much reserved for the guys. And like now, I actually think female college athletes are more exciting, and have better opportunity to make money when they're good at their craft, excellent at their craft, and also storytelling about who they are. So I feel like it's very empowering and exciting, especially for female college athletes, this NIL era.
Well, Roz, I think one of the things that's a little bit lacking is um, unfortunately, there are people that want the sweatshirt without sweating. In order to be a great player, when you're down with the 3-on-3, the Unrivaled league that you're with right now, those women are working. They're in that gym. They're taking care of their bodies. They're training. They're getting up shots. A livelihood is work. And I think that a lot of young players, they might see the glitz and glamour of a Sabrina Ionescu or a Nneka Ogwumike or, and they don't understand the work that is involved. So when you're front and center like you are, you watch how hard these players work and how good they are. So I'm excited to be watching the Unrivaled League. I'm excited to watch the WNBA. I'm really glad that we're having a team in the Bay Area, and the enthusiasm for women's basketball is contagious.
You've also coached some iconic players. Let's take a look at some very recent Stanford women's basketball players who are doing their thing then and now. So here is a throwback of Chiney, Nneka Ogwumike, Cameron Brink. Where are they now? So Nneka and Chiney, they were #1 draft picks in the W. Cameron Brink went #2 in the WNBA. I'm sure you heard Cameron Brink just launched a podcast. Chiney is a broadcasting superstar, and Nneka is the president of the WNBA Players Association. So Tara, what's something that you saw in all three of these women when they were players at Stanford that have helped them, shape who they've become today?
Well, Roz, I'm exceedingly proud of all the players I've coached, but when you point out Nneka, Chiney, and Cam, they're competitors. They're warriors out there. I love coaching all of them, and just how hard they would play, how much they wanted to win. What they would put time into their game, and extra time working on things. I know that I think Chiney is someone that she kind of followed in Nneka's footsteps a little bit, and when she played with Nneka, I always wondered how good she was going to be when Nneka graduated. Oh my God, she was unbelievable. She totally exceeded my expectations, and I love coaching all of them. But I think Chiney in some ways was my real surprise. you know, how she really developed without NECA. They were NECA and Chennai together were fabulous. And Cam being a young player on the national championship team, she's fearless. So, you know, I love, just there's so many great players that I've coached. And, I include you in the great teams and a great, especially a great defensive player. But, some days that shot was going in, Ros.
Yep. And I was like, green light.
Yeah, you got it.
Even if that drove you crazy. But, to your point, I remember playing with NECA, and even though she was 2 years younger, she felt like the mother of the team. You can count on NECA. I remember Chennai telling me as a freshman at college that she was going to have her own show. Boy, when that woman puts her mind to something, she does it, huh?
Yes, she does.
She's excellent.
Yeah.
And then Cameron Brink, just launched her podcast, Straight to Cam. For the record, Cameron, I had Tara VanDerveer on before you did.
Speaking of the evolution of players, we actually have the evolution of Ros. We have a throwback of her then versus now. And this is one I really want to touch on. You touched on her, you just watching her evolve as a person throughout the years. But what's it been like watching her evolve from a player to a broadcaster?
Logan, I thought we were going to do easy questions. Well, I'm so proud of Ros, and she is fabulous. And I love when she's doing games, and she has really improved. Ros is a hard worker, very intelligent, and someone that, like you said, with NECA, you can depend on Ros. She'll get the job done. Ros, I'm seeing the clock tick down. I want to make sure we talk about one thing, and that I don't know if Logan knows this, but I was roommates with Ros's mother in college. Do you know that? Yeah. So whenever Ros would kind of make me ballistic on the bench, I would say, Ros, I knew you before you were born. So I've known Ros basically all her life, and I'm really excited to be here with you, Ros, and I'm really proud of you for what you're doing. And you're very, very intelligent. Ros taught public speaking at Stanford, and we had one of our players in the class. I told Ros that the player had to get an A, and she said, I'll give her what she deserves. So I love your integrity, and I'm so proud of the woman you are, Ros. I had to get that in.
My gosh.
Oh my gosh, Tara. That really means a lot, especially you saying you can depend on me. I appreciate that, Tara. And I love you.
I love you.
You are love you so much. Thank you for coming on the show. We
nice to meet you, Logan.
Nice to meet you as well.
All right. Bye, Tara.
Take care.
All right. That was awesome. That was beautiful. I'm touched. I'm emotional. Hanging out with my former coach and Hall of Famer, Tara VanDerveer. That is our biggest guest to join the show yet. And we're not done yet. When I come back, I have a sit-down exclusive one-on-one interview with Kayla McBride from Miami, talking to us from Unrivaled. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Good Follow Show, presented by DraftKings. I'm Ros Logan, and today joining the show all the way from Miami at the Unrivaled campus where she's playing for the Laces. And of course, you know her from Minnesota and the Lynx. She is a 4-time All-Star. We got my girl, Kayla McBride, coming to the show. What's up, Kayla? It's so good to see you, as always.
It's good to see you too, Ros. It's good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, all the time. I always know when I have an interview with you, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. We've known each other for a long time, Ros. So, I'm always holding down for you, for sure.
Always, always. It's all love. So I heard you cook and I heard you bake. And in the meantime, it's Marina who's getting all of the attention with her Cooking with Mabry series, her and Dejanay going back and forth. And, you're the one who's a really great baker. Can we see a baking with Kayla segment coming?
Yeah, we talked about it internally with our social. I do want to do a series, a couple things, especially with my baking stuff, because that's something I'm really passionate about. But yeah, it's definitely in the works. It's coming. Don't worry.
So first episode of Baking with Kayla, what's that one recipe that you're like, yo, this is my banger recipe. This is what I start the series with.
I always start it And I even did a segment with the links to my brown butter chocolate chip cookies. Like,
Ooh.
it's they're one of one. One of
Okay.
one. They never miss. They never miss.
But you know, a lot of these things you picked up and got better at because you had the time to do it overseas. And you've spent some really successful years in particular in Turkey. Normally this time this year, you'd be in Turkey. The last 4 years you were with Fenerbahce and very successful 3 EuroLeague championships, including back-to-back 2023 and 2024. And this past year, I'm gonna say the flowers because I know you won't. You know, you're the Final Four MVP. We're talking about a very positive situation in Turkey with this team. So what was the process then of this time, this year, walking away from that and taking a leap of faith on Unrivaled?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough situation for me. Fenerbahce is literally my second home. They treated me like family. Spending 4 years in one club is not normal overseas. A lot of players normally bounce around to different teams, but I really found a home. I found a family there, and it wasn't easy. And it was emotional for me leaving, but for me and like where I am in my life, where I'm in my career, I needed rest. I had been going and going and going and going. And yeah, there was a lot of success that came behind it, but I was drained mentally and physically. And then obviously we had a great season with the Lynx. But when Fee had approached me about Unrivaled, it just made sense for me for where I was. And Fenner was great. They were understanding of where I was in my career, and they know how much love I have for them and the city of Istanbul. And just putting that jersey on, it was really, really important to me. And being in Turkey, like I said, it changed my life in so many ways. But it was just time for me to kind of choose myself and be home with my family. You know, I'm the oldest of four. And it was just time for me to be around for the holidays. Like I made a turkey this year. I made cookies with my niece and my sister and my mom. And those are the memories that I couldn't get back from those years in Fenner. And I'd say I didn't make great ones there, but those ones were a little bit more important to me.
Yeah.
And still are right now. So I was really, really grateful to be home, get some rest, work on myself, work on my body, but then also just be present with the people that I care about the most. And that weighed a lot more for me where I am than going back and, competing and being away from my family. And so, yeah, it was a tough decision, but I think I made the best decision for me overall, and Unrivaled's been great. So it's a win-win,
Yeah.
I've obviously had great memories there, but it was time to start a new chapter, and I'm loving it so far.
Yeah. No, everything you're explaining makes a lot of sense. And I feel like I'm hearing this being echoed around from a lot of different players that are saying, I'm choosing me. I feel like this is a period right now, an era of players deciding, I need a life. I need to, have more balance in this way. I need to invest in myself in other ways. And Unrivaled, is one of the great options right now out, and not to mention the equity piece as well. But, last we spoke in an interview format, we were in New York. It was the WNBA finals, which what an incredible season you had with the Minnesota Lynx. And it goes all the way to game 5, and you guys fall short. In that, it was a close, tough game 5, and you fall short to the Liberty. Now that you've had some time, how much do you allow yourself to rewatch any of the games of that series? Do you maybe just say, hey, I'm over it? Or are you holding on to that? Are you one of them people that's like, yo, I'm fueled by this?
I think at first you're devastated, you're heartbroken. Like, I think that's the biggest thing for me, is like being heartbroken. Because it was just such a special group, and obviously we had amazing free agents come into an already pretty good situation. We made the playoffs, things like that. And we were like, we could just get a couple more pieces. Like, maybe we can really do something special. And it turned out to be amazing. And every day I went to work last year with the Lynx, it was like so much joy from top to bottom. And that was the hardest part about it, because we got to the last game of the entire season and to fall short, it was devastating, and it's emotional, because that it will never be that same group of people in a locker room. And that was the hardest part about all of it. Is just knowing like what we built together as a group, from the staff, the fans, everybody internally. It will never be that exact group. And that was the hardest part, I think, for me, especially as a vet. and me and Court have talked about this. Like when you get older, you just don't know when you're going to have another opportunity. Obviously, you want to have as many opportunities as you can, but you just don't know because so many things have to go your way. And so it was devastating. It was really, really hard. I'm not gonna lie, it took me a while to get back on the court. It was easy to start working out, but like actually being back on the court was hard. I can still feel it a little bit emotionally. Because it's a lot. Now you know you got to start 0-0. Like no matter what, you have to just go back to training camp and start all over. And that, I mean, it's a tough pill to swallow, but that's sports, you know, and that's the business of what we do. And that's the great part about what we do too, because we know what it feels like, and we still have a great group coming in to build on something even better. And that's all we can focus on now. It's obviously devastating. It's hard because you want it for the city, you want it for the fans, you want it for yourself, you want it for your teammates, you want it for your family, whatever is motivating you. And so now to be here and kind of wipe the slate clean and you're playing games again, it helps a lot because you can kind of let go of some of that steam. So yeah, there is a little bit of motivation in that, and just trying to be the best version of yourself. So that by the time the WNBA season starts, you're ready to go and hopefully have another opportunity to go compete for something special.
The other side of that whole conversation too is you got that far. That is a tremendous accomplishment in a year where there were many individual and team collective accolades. Like for you, you were an all-star again, your fourth time being an all-star, but it was your first time since 2019. So, as you kind of take the lessons that came from last season, but you roll it forward, what is it that has helped you get back to that status? And then how do you keep it moving forward into next season and beyond?
Yeah. I think it's just about knowing yourself, being real with yourself. I'm really, really thankful for my time overseas because it allowed me a lot of time to work on my game and understand who I wanted to be as a player because the game has changed so much since the time I got into the league. Like I was just telling somebody, I was like, my first year I was playing with Becky Hammond, and now she's retired and coaching for the Aces. It's crazy. Like, and how much the game has actually seriously changed since then. And so now I think, when you're young, you're trying to prove everybody wrong. Like, I am this player, I am this all-star, I am this, I am that, blah, 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 blah. And you have so many things that go on, whether you make the playoffs, you're on a good team, you're on a great team, blah, blah, blah. There's so many critics and, there's social media. Everybody always has something to say, good or bad, and I'm saying we need social media, but also like, I think it was what really helped me was controlling what I have inside of myself, inside of my mind. And that changed everything because it was about proving myself right. And once I did that, it didn't matter, the ebbs and there was never anything too high or too low. It was like, I was just right here. And so, 2020, the bubble was hard. Leaving Vegas was hard. Finding my way in Mini was hard. And so I think, especially this past year, I kind of just let it all go and just remembered and I refound my joy with it. Because you're constantly trying to be better than you were. But I think if we can just, water that grass where it already is, instead of trying to go look for a greener version, that's where I really found my peace with everything and just finding my way and really finding joy and being myself on the court and enjoying it and having fun, win, lose, or draw. I'm just going there competing. And having fun. And that turned out to be one of my best seasons as a pro at 32. And people are always asking me, why now? And it's just like, because I just know myself better than ever. I'm content with myself. I know how to prepare myself. And I enjoy that process. Like my biggest thing when I first came in as a 21-year-old kid was like, I just never want to lose my passion and joy for the game because I genuinely love basketball. I love the game. And I could happily say 32 going on 33 this year, I still have that same joy and passion, and also playing at a high level. So that was really the main thing. It was about proving myself right, and just going out and enjoying the process, being around people who feel like I could be myself with. Minnie has been amazing, because it's hard changing teams. It's hard leaving a good situation for another good situation, and it was tough. It was hard. Leaving Vegas, especially being part of the first couple teams, the inaugural seasons and stuff like that. It was hard for me because I was basically with the same organization for 7 years, and so between San Antonio and Vegas, and then having to leave. It wasn't easy. And at that time, you're in your 20s and you're an all-star and this, and you kind of have to humble yourself, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so I think that once I was able to do that and find my way and prove myself right as a pro athlete, like everything kind of fell into place, and
Yeah.
you kind of have to fall on your butt sometimes. You get knocked to the ground sometimes.
Yeah.
Because that's where you see what you're made of. And yeah, so I've been really fortunate for my support system, and just like keep like having that love for the game. And that's who you see today.
That is exactly who I see. I actually made note of the joy and spirit that you have. You are contagious, Kayla. Like and your teammates say that about you. I'm just speaking with you right now. Your teammates say that about you. Like you can feel it, your energy in practice or in a shoot around, how you even engage with others. It really sounds like it's been a personal and a mental journey on top of the physical game elevating, but also just like you said, proving yourself right. And there's also the aspect too of like fit and timing. As you've moved to different teams, you happen to catch this Lynx team in Minnesota at the right time. And there's also this blossoming superstar in Naphessa Collier. And, she comes off of a MVP runner-up season, defensive player of the year, obviously started Unrivaled, one of the founders with Stewie. Even though she's already here, is there a sense that like, what's next in her evolution? Is there another breakout possible for Fee right now?
I think we're going to see a lot more ISO Fee. Apparently, that's going to be her thing now. No, I mean, I've been very fortunate to watch Fee's blooming into who you see now. I think being a mom has really transcended her too. Having Mila and even doing her thing like off the court with Unrivaled and being a businesswoman. You just watch somebody grow up, and she's still not even 30 yet, And so I think Fee, I don't think anybody expected Fee to be this way, in these MVP conversations, and she just works her butt off, and she's a great teammate, and she's the most humble superstar in our league, but also carries it with so much grace. She's competitive. She's a great teammate, and so I think that when you have a superstar like that, then you also have like a leader in Cheryl who holds us all the same accountability. It makes it easy, for people like Courtney to come in, for Lan to come in, for T to come in, because now we're all looking at Fee, and this is an MVP runner-up. And if Cheryl's going to hold her accountable, then we're definitely all going to be held accountable. And I think that's where we found so much success, is like we only had one standard, and that starts with Fee, and we know that. And like I said, she carries with so much grace, and it's easy to follow her lead when she does it that way, when she works her tail off, and she's a humble superstar, and that's who you want to go to war with. And she just keeps getting better. Defensive player of the year. Now she's shooting the 3-ball. Obviously, she's amazing inside and out, great rebounder, but it's just like it's her ability to affect every possession. And that's where it really has transcended, is on both ends of the floor. Like everybody knew Fee could score and things like that. But then when she took it up on the defensive side of the ball, it was like amazing. So I'm really, really excited. And even more excited that she'll be on my team, not like here where she's on the other team. Her and Courtney are on the same team away from me. It was just crazy.
Oh. But, this is y'all walking by.
Here, and nobody's with me. It's fine. I have a very strong attachment to them.
Hey, but, there's other connections.
I have my connections. I'm just saying. We're talking about Fee, so I'm just saying. But I just think that I'm really excited to see like the next level that she takes, and I think especially after getting to the finals, I think she has even more motivation for the next season. So I'm excited. I'm excited to support her through that, but also like alongside her, really just having her back out there. I think that was we took a big leap over the last 2 years where she can rely on me and trust me, and in her journey as a superstar in this league. So I've been really fortunate to be alongside of her for the journey, and I'm excited to see where she continues to go. Sure.
Kayla's always good kicking it with you. I really enjoyed the time, and your thoughtfulness and just vulnerability and reflecting on the ups and downs of a career and a season. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
For sure, Ros. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Welcome back to Good Follow presented by DraftKings. All right, the matchup and the game that everyone will have all their eyes on is going to be Friday between the Laces and the Lunar Owls at Unrivaled. It's a battle of the unbeatens. Who's going to lose? Who's going to stay undefeated? Well, in that matchup, I've got my eyes on Kayla McBride, who we just had on the show earlier for our interview. So friend to the show. She's rejuvenated her career and she plays with great motor on both sides of the ball, but they don't call her Kayla McBuckets for nothing. McBuckets is going to score in bunches. For the Lunar Owls, hooty hoo, it's the co-founder and so far the most dominant player in Unrivaled play, Naphessa Collier, who's mixing up multi-range scoring with high efficiency and great defense too. So, a key to keep your eye on is actually who's healthy for the Laces. They've been banged up. Alyssa Thomas was out. Jackie Young has yet to play. And in Monday's games, Tiffany Hayes was all over the floor. So those injuries and those bruises are starting to pile up. Ultimately, I have Queen Fee and the Lunar Owls pulling this one out, remaining unbeaten. Plus, for me, it's just fun to say hooty hoo. Right, Logan? Hooty hoo. This segment is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Hooty hoo.
I can't even hooty hoo. I'm not a chanter.
All right. I mean, I know you got quick hits for us, though, because we're at the end of the show and we're going through some of the other headlines that we haven't gotten to yet.
Yes, I want to start with one that is patience at its finest. Actually, patience and resilience at its finest. Madison Keys won her first Grand Slam title at the Australian Open. And this is after turning pro nearly 16 years ago and playing in 47 Grand Slam events. She has been through a ton of ups and downs, including injuries last year. But for her to pull this out after all that time, a lot of people would have just given up. Plus, she got married to her coach, aka now husband, in November. So this was the first Grand Slam that she played as a wife. And I just love that for them.
Yeah. I think there's so much you could take from her victory. She's 29. She was the number 19 rank, a big underdog coming into this. And I relate to her saying she took therapy to just unburden herself of the expectations and just come out there and be the best version of herself. So she kept telling herself, be brave, which I think is really awesome. And you could take a lot from that if you're any person in everyday life.
And someone who's also doing really well is Naomi Girma, who signed the first $1 million transfer fee. I believe it was 1.1 from San Diego Wave to Chelsea. And I actually saw that Lyon was going to match the transfer and pay her more, but she went with Chelsea instead, which says a lot about the club. But they now have Katerina Macario, Mia Fischel, and Naomi, which are three of the greats on the U.S. women's national team. And I have to say, I just love the dynamic between NWSL and Europe. They have the top three most expensive transfers, and they're all women of color, which we also love to see.
Oh, we love to see it. But you know what comes with those big paydays and big transfer fees and big money?
What?
Big pressure. Okay. Big pressure. So your girl Naomi is going to have to make sure she steps up and is really able to showcase that she's one of the best defenders in the world for Chelsea.
And lastly, I just want to talk about my city of Toronto. I was so proud this weekend. The Scepters, which is the PWHL team, invited me to their Battle on Bay Street, which is done at Scotiabank Arena, our huge arena that all the concerts are at. The Leafs play there, the Raptors play there, and they sold that thing out. Let me tell you, I was there 3 out of the 4 nights last week, and that was the most energetic game I've ever been to. There's all this talk that the crowd is dead. It's all corporate. I went to a Leafs game on Wednesday. When they scored, it was like barely any chance. They were on their feet the whole time, towels waving. It just made me so proud to see, especially as someone who grew up playing hockey.
Yeah, that's so cool. You got to have that experience and they invited you out there to be there. You were right there in the mix in the crowd.
Yes, over 19,000 people, not to mention it was the second year in a row that they did this.
Well, I love to hear that. I mean, I think that women's sports are booming everywhere right now. And so, we'll be here to cover it for you, Logan.
Yes, absolutely. And when the tempo comes.
Yes. Okay. Toronto's on fire right now. Come on, Canada. Canada's on fire. Well, we got you worldwide across the different continents, countries, all the things. Logan's in Canada. I'm in the US. We got you covered, Good Follow fans, because that's it for this week's episode. Good Follow is a must follow, and it's brought to you by DraftKings. So for Logan, also thank you to Tara VanDerveer for popping by. For Kayla McBride, thank you for popping by. I'm Ros Logan. We'll see you next week, guys.
Bye, guys.